G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So jumping into Go Battle League, and as you can see currently rank 8, and we'll jump straight into the Little Cup. So I'm going to have a slight change to my team and run Seal as my replacement for Barboached. So Seal running Ice Shard, Aqua Tail and Icy Wind, Bronzor running Confusion, Size Shock and Heavy Slam, and Jinchao running Bubble Beam and Thunderbolt. So we've jumped into this first game, and first up we've got Barboach on the lead and not shielding up that Mud Bomb. Very costly, because it is now going to be able to farm me down. So they switch into the Cottony there, which is not too bad for me. Running Ice Shard, so it is doing super effective damage, but my Bronzor has little play against the Barboach there, so I'm going to bring that out and let it take a bit of damage and see if I can charge this thing down. I want to try and grab another shield. I don't think I'm going to, but be good to grab another shield. Unfortunately not able to grab another shield, so right there I probably should have just let that go, and yeah, so should have let that go all the way and just charge down to save up a whole bunch of energy. So out comes their Barboach here. I'm going to have to shield up the Mud Bomb and throwing my Ice Shards. I'm able to do a nice bit of chunk of damage. Throw the Aqua Tail, get their last shield, and I let that go. So decision there is not necessarily a good one. And out comes the Bronzor, throws the charge move, and I'm going to counter with my Aqua Tail there. Unfortunately, they've got a little bit of a head start on, well, so they've got a very big head start on HP. So, yeah, not looking good for me here, and yeah, some poor early decisions in this game really cost me. So basically, not shielding up that Mud Bomb. First Mud Bomb from the Barboach. I was hoping it was going to be an Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail takes 4 to get to. Mud Bomb takes 5 on the first one. And I guess I just miscounted. Thought they only had enough for the Aqua Tail, so I let it go through, and it was certainly not the Aqua Tail. So into the next one, Lady Butt on the lead, so a little bit of a different one there, and not too bad for me, because being flying typing, I can pressure shields with because of the electric moves, and I did grab a shield on that Bubble Beam, which is absolutely spectacular. So I'm going to shield that up because I don't actually know what charge moves a Ladybug is running. So going to throw my well, let's just move straight into this Bronzor match. So get to the Bubble Beam, and I'm able to get to the second one before it takes me down, and so this is going to give me a very nice lead into this. So they swap into a Vulpix, which is absolutely fine with me. I'm going to shield up this first one. Hopefully I can get to an Icy Wind, which I 100% can, before they throw another one, and then that will be able to debuff them. So there, potentially what I should have done is 100% thrown the Aqua Tail and just taking it down. So let's see if they want to shield this up. So they do shield this up, but because I charged up to almost 2 Aqua Tails, I am able to get to the next one before they're able to get to a charge move. Out comes their Bronzor, and just not able to get to another Aqua Tail. So really unfortunate that I wasn't able to get the Aqua Tail there. Out comes my own Bronzor in the mirror, and thankfully they decided to quit. No one wants to see a Bronzor mirror match. It's just the most tedious game in the world. So thankfully they quit that game, as it was GG's at that point. So into the next one, Tepig on the lead, which is really good for me. They swap into Cottony, so this is again absolutely spectacular. Able to swap in the Bronzor, so double-edged here, double-edged sword right here. Well, not a double-edged sword, it's just all it's getting your cake and eating it too, because one Bronzor absolutely destroys Cottony, but 2, it does not want to see Tepig, so really good there. And what I'm going to do here is fully commit to the farm down and let it do as much damage as it wants, but come into the next battle with all the energy in the world, fully expecting this Tepig to come back in, and I will have back-to-back charge moves to throw. So there goes one. Be able to charge up into my next one there. So there goes the Psyshock, second one in. Let that one go through, and then they're going to look to farm me down, but able to do huge amounts of damage there, which is absolutely spectacular. I will shield up this one, and we'll see what they want to do. So I fully expect them to swap out here, and out comes their own Bronzor. So obviously most teams are running the Bronzor. Not good for me. They decide to shield that up, but then we've either got lag or they've decided to give up the game. Looks like we've got a nice big chunk of lag there, so able to get to that charge move, and they're still not moving. So at this point they've either dropped out or they've just given up the game, and rather than be those kind people who quit early from matches to stop you having to witness this, they've just stayed in and just going to let that go. Finally, they decide to leave the game. So either that or they just came back from a lag spike and it was GG's all round. So I was in a pretty solid position for that one, to be completely honest. That was a game. That was a good game right there, even before the lag spike, so I'm okay with that. So on the lead, so out comes opponent's Seal. So going to absolute town with that lick, and I'm going to throw my Thunderbolt straight up, and it does shield, which is really unfortunate for me. So as it turns out, so I've had a few games where Seal is leading. Every game that I throw Thunderbolt, they decide to shield, and every game I decide to Bubble Beam, and they no shield, which is just absolutely spectacular for them. So I'm going to bring out my own Seal here after debuffing the Barboach, and the reason for that is because Seal's not going to take super effective damage from Barboach because of, well, it's not electric type like Chinchou, so that's why I want to get it out there. And it will still do neutral damage because of the water moves. Out comes their own Seal, and to lick me down. So I'm going to throw an Icy Wind here just to get a bit of a debuff on them, and we'll see what they want to do. So for this one, I'm going to come out. I've got a shield advantage here, and out comes their Shelmet. So Shelmet is going to be doing, well, neutral damage with the bug buzz, and the reason for that is because steel typing is resisting it, and psychic typing is super effective. So decide to shield up that second one. So really good shield there, actually able to shield something that I'm wanting to, and then, oh, can I charge it down? No, I can't, so I'm going to let this go, and it is just the body slam, so it does absolutely no damage. Out comes the Seal. Unfortunately, it's able to get to a charge move. I'm not going to shield this up, and it is the Aqua Tail, so it doesn't do too much damage, and I've got back-to-back charge move saves, so I'm glad it wasn't a... Oh, not quite back-to-back. Had to throw a couple extra fast moves there, and then throw the next Psyshock, and then out comes the Shelmet just to take one more fast move to allow me to farm that down and take the game. So that's a good game right there. So going to jump straight into the next one and see how we go. So again, Chinchou into Vulpix, love to see it. So only thing better than that is them swapping into Cottony, which they have done very nicely for me. So Cottony comes out, and I swap into my Bronzor because, well, like I said in the last game, it's a win-win for me. It means that my Bronzor gets to avoid the Vulpix, and it also means that I get to absolutely wreck the Cottony. So I come out of that matchup with a whole lot of energy charged. I was expecting to see their Vulpix come back out, but they've actually brought out their own Bronzor there, so I'm going to swap into my Chinchou, and they can't really, well, I mean, I guess they can, if they want to, swap into their Vulpix, but obviously that's going to be all sorts of bad for them, so I'm going to look to charge this down, so swapping in there, saving some energy, and then no shield there, absolutely spectacular. I have the seal in the back, which they don't know about, and then once I bring that out, I'm going to be able to say good game right there. Going to bring out my own Bronzor just to finish this one off, to avoid my seal taking any damage, because I want that to be as healthy as possible. So just before I fainted, I swapped in the seal there to get a head start on energy, just so I could throw these Aquatails a little bit faster, and they realize that is good game, and they leave the game. So really good there, and able to take the set and go 4-1, which is really, really nice, and actually a Rufflet as the reward, so really like that. And we'll jump into the next set. So again, running the same three there, so running Chinchou, Bubble Beam, and Thunderbolt, Bronzor with Confusion, Psyshock, and Heavy Slam, and Seal with, now I've swapped my Seal to have Lick, Aquatail, and Icy Wind, just because the reason I've swapped out the Ice Shard for Lick is basically for Bronzor matches. It just does more damage, and I'm not seeing any Dinos hardly at all anymore, so the ice type damage. And for Cottony, I'm always going to bring in, if possible, the Bronzor. So as you can see there, so Seal on the lead, finally managed to get one where they didn't shield my Thunderbolt, and able to take that match really, really comfortably. They come out into their Cottony, I come out into my Bronzor, and look to farm down. They come out into their own Bronzor there, so I'm going to throw the Heavy Slam just to get a little bit of a head start on damage. Going to throw a second one here just to really start adding that damage up. I want them to throw their energy so I can swap out into my Seal, and then I'm going to come in with the Seal. Am I? No, apparently I'm not. I'm just going to go the Mirror here. This is an interesting strategy. So going to look to charges down. So what I should have done here is swap straight into the Seal when they swapped out of their Cottony. Unfortunately, now I've left it too long, and I can't swap out, because then they'll just swap in their own Cottony there. So this is a really poor misplay by me, and let's see if this ends up costing me the game. So I don't know why I didn't swap out. That's just brutal, and it may end up costing me very, very dearly in the end. So let's find out. So they're able to get to another charge move before me. So I think they're sneaking in the extra moves, which is really unfortunate. So here, and I panicked and went for Psyshock when I could have got to my... could have got to the Heavy Slam. So actually, when I say I've still got Ice Shard on this Seal, so it must have been in a later match. So I swapped it over to be able to Lick for the damage. So I'm able to actually charge this down, and then I've got absolutely 1 HP. Let's see, and I'm able to get it with time being up. Wow, that was a close game. I was really thinking I was going to lose it. Thankfully, the Seed Bomb didn't quite take me out, and I was able to charge it down. And that is actually one instance where the Ice Shard damage on the Cottony came in really handy. So for their 100%, don't stay in that mirror match. Swap into the Seal, because you've just got such a favourable match with Bronzor versus Cottony, so always swap out. So on the lead here, Shadow Stunky, so really not good. I'm going to shield this up because it's going to do a whole lot of damage and be able to farm down. So we're even shields. I've got a little bit of an energy advantage. Out comes Cottony, so this is not ideal. However, because I do still have ice shards, I am able to do a little bit of damage here. So I am going to shield this up, which is an interesting play. So let's see how this works out for me. Going to throw this icy wind and look to charge this down and see what they've got in the back. So they've actually got their own Bronzor, and you are in the privileged position to be watching the most boring match in Pokemon PvP, Bronzor mirror match. So as you can see there, I was able to sneak in an extra fast move. However, they're able to pull one back here, and I actually got to over 100 energy. So this is GG's right now. And they're able to sneak in another fast move there. So they're just getting, so they've got about 3 extra fast moves on me now, which is really not ideal. And they're perfectly stopping me from getting the extra fast move through. So this is really looking bad. So as you can see, they've got a full heavy slam up on me in the time that we've had this battle. So they've managed to get through a full heavy slam before I can. I've noticed that there, and then I just say good game, and that one's gone because sneaking through those extra fast moves really adds up, even though I had a little bit of a health advantage on that one. They definitely got the energy advantage and kept getting it. They did really well at stopping me from sneaking extra fast moves through, and they were sneaking them through themselves. So next match out is an interesting one. So it is unfortunately just a water type, so my moves are resisted, whereas it's going to be throwing its mud bombs, as you can see, and I'm going to have to shield those up. So going to throw another bubble beam here and really hoping to grab a second shield. Let's see, no shield. That's really bad, because this mud bomb that comes through is going to do a whole lot of damage, because it is going to be super effective. So out they swapped into their Cottony. I wasn't quite able to swap my Bronzor in time before they charged me down, but this is good for me because it does mean that their Cottony is now stuck against my Bronzor. I'm going to do my standard way and look to throw one Psy Shock and then charge down and have 2 charge moves worth of energy by the time they faint. And the reason I go the Psyshock is because I want them to burn a shield. Sometimes people shield those up and sometimes they do not. So I want to throw the double Psyshock here, grab the last shield from the time pole, and then out comes their own Bronzor. So going to want to throw the Icy Wind here to debuff them, and then really be able to try and see if I can take this out with my own Bronzor in the back. So let's see what they throw. Heavy Slam. That is the wrong move. You have to be throwing Psyshock. So water typing is going to resist the steel typing, and you need to be throwing those Psyshocks. So able to get to a second charge move, and here comes another charge move. So really, really good there, and able to get that down to half health. Looks like they're trying to save up as much energy as possible, but they're over farming. Here comes another Aqua Tail. Is going to be able to get out really, really low. They want all the energy in the world for my Bronzor, and I'm able to swap and catch a Psyshock to try and take me out, and then able to get to my own Heavy Slam, and it's almost going to be enough, not quite enough to take me out, and timer is counting down, and we're at time up. Who wins? Who's got more health? I've just got more health, so take the win there. Really good game. And able to catch that charge move was really, really good for me. Being able to catch the Psyshock, pretty much won me that game. So absolutely brilliant there. So next game, out comes Drifloon, and I'm going to throw the Bubble Beam again, and I was able to grab that shield. Got to be careful of those electric attacks. So I don't shield this up, and they Shadow Ball me, and right now that is looking real rough. So out comes my seal, and it is now running lick. So that lick damage is starting to add up. They icy wind me this time, but I'm just going to lick absolute all the way down. Out comes a Bronzor. I'm going to throw an icy wind here, no shield, and then going to look to go to town licking, and tried to swap, but they able to get a charge move off before I was able to swap out. The question is, what do I do here? So I stored up back-to-back Aquatails on the seal, and then I was able to swap it into my own Bronzor, and they're running Cottony in the back, which is really interesting choice there. So I'm just going to throw the Iron Head. So this time it's a little bit different because I need to do as much damage as possible as quickly as possible. I'm able to take that matchup. They've got less health than me. They leave the game, so good game right there, and thank you opponent for not making me play that out. Sometimes you can make up the difference, but I had the seal in the back, and with charge moves saved and more health on the Bronzor, so really glad that they quit out. So again, Cottony on the lead, so if they decide to throw their charge move, I let it go. If they don't, I throw back-to-back, I throw 2 bubble beams at them, and then get them to half health. I am then able to come out with my Bronzor and farm down if they choose to let me do that. In this instance, they did not. They swapped out into Wooper, which is actually a really good call because it means I won't get all that energy, but I am able to swap out and match my seal up against it. So Body Slam is going to do a reasonable amount of damage. Wooper can run Mud Shot or Water Gun. Usually it's going to be running Mud Shot because of all of the steals that are all of the steals Bronzor. Basically, it will run Mud Shot because of Bronzor. I'm able to lick that down, which is really good, and then able to get to an Icy Wind. So this is absolutely huge. So are they going to shield? Yes, they are. Out comes. So unfortunately, it is a Barboach. They have double mud, and it makes sense because Barboach is absolutely everywhere. So it makes sense to have double counters to it. They get to their mud bombs just so quickly. It is ridiculous. So unfortunately, they got to another one before I was able to get there. And Aquatail is what the move is. Should have used my shield earlier. And then out comes the Cottony. It has energy, and it's going to be able to take me out. So bit of poor play from me there. There you go. Back-to-back charge move saved. Had a lot of energy saved up from that first matchup, and able to take that game. So bit of a misplay there from me. Led me to go 3 and 2 in that set and get a Scraggy as a reward. So I do have a video on improving excellent throws. I'll link that now. You can check that out if you want to improve some of those excellent throws. I've also linked to my little cup playlist if you want to check that out as well. As you can see, currently in rank 9, pushing for rank 10. So hopefully that was useful for someone. Double water team. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.